In the inaugural World T20 edition in 2007, Pakistan commenced their campaign with a comfortable victory over Scotland. Their next bout against arch-rivals India was bizarrely tied, and Pakistan eventually lost on a bowl-out. Following that defeat, Pakistan went on a winning spree, overhauling Sri Lanka and then upsetting Australia in a memorable victory at the Wanderers. The men in green topped Group F in the Super 8 stage before knocking over New Zealand in the first semi-final to qualify for the final. Here they encountered India in a quest for the ultimate glory. In a game where momentum shifted back and forth, Pakistan agonizingly fell short by 5 runs and lost the World Cup to their foes. Pakistan's moment of exaltation came in the next edition of the tournament in 2009. Although they lost their first group game against the host England, Pakistan abruptly gained ground by defeating the Netherlands and qualifying for the Super 8 stage. The Yunus Khan-led team was humbled by Sri Lanka before the cornered Tigers came roaring back to rout New Zealand and overpower Ireland and seal a semi-final berth. Pakistan crossed swords with an informed, star-studded South African side. In an intense, low-scoring thriller, Pakistan successfully defended a paltry-looking total of 149 runs and qualified for the final for the second consecutive time. In the final, Pakistan managed to avenge Sri Lanka for their loss earlier in the tournament and emerged triumphant on the back of an all-round masterclass from Shahid Afridi. Pakistan began their title defense in 2010 with a thumping victory over Bangladesh. However, a flurry of losses followed as the men in green were trounced by Australia and England and found no luck against New Zealand either. The odds were against the defending champions when they locked horns with South Africa in their last Super 8 game. Pakistan not only squeezed past them but also bettered their net run rate, which propelled them into the semi-final stage again. Pakistan's semi-final bout against Australia was a high-scoring affair. Australia won the game on the penultimate delivery, courtesy of Mike Hussey's batting heroics in the dying moments of the contest. After having crashed out from the previous edition in a distressing manner, Pakistan commenced their 2012 campaign triumphantly. Being one of the strongest outfits in the competition, Mohammad Hafiz's men trampled over New Zealand, Bangladesh and South Africa. They were stopped in their tracks by a strong Indian lineup. Pakistan roared back with a domineering performance over the Aussies to qualify for the World T20 semi-finals for the 4th consecutive time. The Green Shirts, however, faced a similar fate as they did in 2010 and were outplayed by the hosts, Sri Lanka. Pakistan didn't taste much success in the following edition in 2014 in Bangladesh. They were comfortably beaten by arch-rivals India in their opening game, and that seemed to set the tone for the 4-time semi-finalists. Despite morale-boosting victories over Australia and Bangladesh, Pakistan couldn't get over the line in a virtual quarter-final against the West Indies. On a surface that assisted the slower bowlers, Pakistan's batting lineup was decimated by the West Indian spin duo of Samuel Badri and Sunil Narine, and they were bowled out for 82 in their pursuit of 167 runs. Pakistan's most disappointing World T20 campaign came in the competition's 2016 edition. Like previously in Bangladesh, Pakistan couldn't utilize the Indian surfaces to their advantage and were crushed by both Asian and non-Asian outfits. The comprehensive victory over Bangladesh in Pakistan's opening game proved to be a hoax, as Pakistan collapsed against India in the next encounter and couldn't really recover from there on. The Green Shirts crashed out of the tournament with back-to-back losses against New Zealand and Australia, bringing an abysmal campaign to a bitter end. A lot has changed since the 2016 World T20 for Pakistan. Pakistan has successfully staged 5 editions of the Pakistan Super League in this period, which has proven to be the breeding ground for Pakistan's new crop of players that have materialized onto the global scene. The team's golden run of form in the shortest format also coincided with this post-2016 period, during which time Pakistan earned the invincible stag in the international game. With the next World T20 scheduled to be held in the Emirati Dunes later this year, Pakistan may consider themselves in some benefit given that they have played most of their cricket in the 2010s in the UAE. Although their T20I side was said to have disintegrated in the 2019-20 period, Pakistan's recent T20 form suggests that the team is on its way to attaining rejuvenation. With Babar Azam at the helm and the likes of Mohammad Rizwan, Hassan Ali, Shadab Khan and Shaheen Shah Afridi in the team's core, Pakistan will hope to rekindle the spirit of the 2009 side and smother the agonies of 2010 and 2012 and the disappointments of 2014 and 2016.